Welcome to Life's Deepest Questions. If you're looking for answers that go beneath the surface in your search for truth about how to live a more satisfying life, or if you're curious about spiritual things and how they affect your daily existence, please like and subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for when new videos are posted. Living the best life possible does not happen by luck or wishful thinking. Rather, it is the result of the decisions you make and your actions. Knowing how to make growth-oriented decisions and taking beneficial actions has been explored throughout time across the globe by most cultures. This is the second of a multi-part series on 4 major challenges you face during your life. These obstacles are represented as dragons. They block your path to spiritual growth and your most satisfying life. In the Gospel of Mary, Mary Magdalene names these dragons. This video focuses on the powers of the Demon of Craving. Also included are the keys that unlock your spiritual power to grow and to live the good life. In the early years of the Christian faith, the Gospel of Mary was highly valued for the wisdom offered by Mary Magdalene. It was about living the best life possible, the obstacles you will encounter, and other important insights. In the Gospel, she revealed to the other apostles secret instructions she received from Jesus regarding the journey the soul takes over a lifetime. The Greek words used to describe this process can be translated as becoming whole, healthy, or saved. As stated in Part 1, the goal of the 4 tormenting demons, represented here as dragons, is to block your path to spiritual growth. These demons cannot be killed as they are made from physical energy, and all energy, regardless of whether it is spiritually or physically based, can never be destroyed. However, it can transform. As a result, you cannot kill the dragons. For example, chopping off their heads would cause either 2 heads to grow back, or the dragon would change its shape into another form. Therefore, you must try something different if you are to overcome the physically based power of these dragons. To succeed, you must develop your own inner power. That power is rooted in your ability to grow spiritually and forge keys to the kingdom. These keys open the many padlocks on each gate in the spirit world. With each key you make, you increase your skill, strength, power, and faith in your ability to grow past these creatures and future challenges as you transcend from a mortal human to an immortal being. For additional information on the Gospel of Mary, as well as all 4 demons, refer to the video 4 Reasons You Don't Grow Spiritually. In Part 1, Mary Magdalene identified the tormentors as demons. Demon is defined by the Free Dictionary as a persistently tormenting person, force, or passion. Synonyms include devil, evil spirit, monster, or a genie. In addition to the 4 demons, she also identified 3 wrathful henchmen who served the demon of darkness. Wrath is defined by Merriam-Webster as an intense emotional state induced by displeasure, often with a desire or an intent to punish or get revenge. The first 3 henchmen are obscurity, eagerness for death, and foolish wisdom. These henchmen are used by the dragons to compel you to comply with the laws of physical energy. Your powers to overcome this demon are the keys to think for yourself, truth, self-discovery, and courage. The second demon that Mary Magdalene warns about, and the subject of this video, is the Dragon of Craving. The Oxford Dictionary defines craving as to feel a powerful desire for something. The henchman for the craving dragon is the desire to possess. It is regularly exhibited in our culture as materialism, and it burns in you like a fiery passion. Merriam-Webster defines materialism as a theory that physical matter is the only or fundamental reality, and that all being and processes and phenomena can be explained as manifestations or results of matter. Materialism takes one of two forms. The first is as a philosophical form. This type proposes matter, and not a spiritual creator, to be the primary source for all things. This includes mental states, the will, and consciousness, as well as tangible, concrete, physical objects. Matter, on the other hand, is defined as a physical substance in general. It is distinct from the mind and the spirit, and in physics, that which occupies space and possesses rest mass, especially as distinct from energy. Now, even a brief comparison of these two definitions reveals conflict. Matter specifically distinguishes between physical substances and those of pure energy, such as mind and spirit. On the other hand, materialism includes the spiritual part of who you are as evolving from matter. Shifting the primary source of all things from the spirit world to the physical is a huge corruption of monism and the Neoplatonism movement that was fathered by Plotinus. As previously stated, this 4th century philosopher from Alexandria used the symbol of the monad to represent the divine, the supreme being, and the totality of all things. Neoplatonism, as well as most ancient religions, proposes that all things in both the spirit and physical worlds are created by a spiritual creator and not evolved from matter, and it is matter that evolves from the spiritual. Materialism really took off in popularity after the Roman Emperor Constantine adopted Christianity as the state religion. This was purely a political strategy because he was looking for something that could unite the greatly diverse cultures of his empire. Consequently, the Byzantine cross replaced the sign of the fish as the symbol for Christianity. This change illustrates how the might of Constantine overshadowed the humbleness of Jesus. Under his watchful eye at the Council of Nicaea in 325 CE, the Christian faith was manipulated to overemphasize obedience to outside authority. This made it easier for the Romans to control the masses. It also endorsed the growth of hierarchy in the practice of the faith. This is reflected in rituals, such as the threat of excommunication and the confessional. Prior to Constantine, many Christian sects emphasized that the individual's inner light and not outside authority was the most important. Modern science is an outgrowth of this perspective. It operates on the assumption that only the physical world exists and is of value. Therefore, there is no spirit world in this lifetime to be concerned about. Materialism on an individual level is the second reason you don't grow spiritually. This is when materialism is practiced as a belief system that only possessions and comfort are of the most value. A core issue in your ability to make spiritual keys and live a satisfying life is determined by which perspective you follow. The question is, do you live your life based on physical materialism or on spiritual things? The fire-breathing demon of craving wants to direct and control your soul by igniting it to burn with desire. The demon's henchman attacks in 3 ways. The first attack is to cause you to have spiritual amnesia and you forget who you are. This can happen as early as birth or early childhood. Once this is accomplished, it's easier to distract you with materialism. Next, the henchman fills the identity vacuum with the desire to possess. Everyone is looking for a genie in a bottle to grant their wishes to control people, places, and things. By working with the henchman of foolish wisdom, the illusion of time is used to occupy your attention. A common trick is the lie that there will be time in the future to tend to the most meaningful and rewarding things in your life. You think there will always be tomorrow to do what you enjoy most, or to stop and smell the roses. You may also think that later is soon enough to think about spiritual matters because you mistakenly believe it does not affect your life now. And then one day, your thread of life runs out. That's when this lifetime is over. Whether because of age, illness, accident, or other causes, you physically die before reaching your full potential of fulfilling your life's purpose and task. If this happens, it is indeed a tragedy. The time is now to think of living the good life. As a human, you have two natures. This means you're capable of living in both the physical and spiritual worlds simultaneously right now. Make this lifetime a much better, rewarding experience by exploring your spiritual nature today. It will make for a better tomorrow. Another trick of the desire henchman is there is just not enough time. Everybody is busy doing stuff. Some stuff is necessary to your daily survival, such as providing for food and shelter. Some stuff is critical to the survival of dependent others, such as providing them with food and shelter. Adding to the time problem is the high valuing of materialism in our culture. That means that if your activities do not produce money or value according to other people, then you are wasting your time. You have several keys to make if you want to overcome the power of the craving dragon and its henchmen of desire. Your first key is to remember who you are. This requires discovering at the unconscious levels the parts of your soul and personality that you hid away from your consciousness. In other words, to become more self-conscious, as opposed to being only conscious of the world. The next key is personal responsibility. You are in control of whether to spend your life either on a clock and autopilot or choose to pursue transformation. Remember the example of Viktor Frankl. Even though the Nazis controlled what his body did, he did not allow them to control his mind. To forge this key, you must make time to do spiritual and healing stuff for yourself. This means doing things such as engaging in creative activities that bring you personal lasting bliss, and in spending time just enjoying being in nature. Making time for spiritual stuff also means setting aside time for self-examination. Spiritual transformation rarely occurs by accident. It takes time to explore the vast inner spaces of your unconscious spiritual world of who you are. Consider the wise words of Socrates when he said that the unexamined life is not worth living. Another powerful key is the practice of gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you want or don't have, focus on being grateful for what you do have. The small things you take for granted are a good place to start. For example, consider how you benefit from electricity, running water, and the ability to easily travel long distances. Or how about the big things like good health, having others to share your life with, and engaging in activities that you enjoy? In conclusion, the demon of craving can set your soul on fire with a desire to possess and control people, places, and things. It can cause you to forget who you are and trick you into thinking that you will have time in the future to experience a satisfying life. Or the demon will keep you busy doing stuff instead of living the life you were intended to experience. You can live your best life possible by overcoming spiritual amnesia with the key of remembering you are a spiritual being and not just a physical one. By exploring the depths of your self-conscious, you have uncovered the parts of yourself that have been hidden and forgotten. With the key of personal responsibility, you can be free of the tyranny of the clock and of running out of time before you become truly alive. And the power of the key of gratitude extinguishes the fire of the desire to possess by focusing on what you have and not on what you don't have. Living your best life does not have to happen just in your dreams. A life of lasting satisfaction can be lived every day in this lifetime when you have the keys to the kingdom. The next dragon Mary Magdalene introduces is the demon of ignorance and its henchman. Details of how this demon tries to block your path to spiritual growth are contained in Part 3. Also included are the vital keys you need to spiritually grow. If this video is beneficial to you, please click the like button below and also leave a comment. To learn more about these and other similar subjects, please subscribe and check the notifications button to receive alerts when new videos are released. Classes are offered periodically and you're invited to attend. Dates of classes are available by email only to subscribers. Until next time, thank you for joining us at Life's Deepest Questions.